So now we are going to move to nested if, how we can combine more than one if. Yes, how we can. Now to do that, this is how we do it. So equal to if this cell is greater or equal to 80, and I pressed F4, give me an A. F4. Else, so in order to use more than one if, when you get to the value if false, anytime you get to value if 4, you start the process again. You start typing, you start with another if. So we come if this same cell is greater or equal to this cell, we press F4, then give me this comma. If you don't bring the comma, you get an error. F4 again. Come here, you press F4. So now we are on value if false. So value if false. Then you start a new if function again. If the same cell is greater or equal to this cell, we press F4, give me this cell, we press F4 again. So that is the value if true. So always be looking at this side when you are typing. Yes. So when you are done, you press comma to move to value if false, and then you start again. If the same cell C4 is greater or equal to 40, press F4, then give me D, press F4. Else, then you come to value if false again. Else, because we have exhausted all the grades, it means that the value if false we are going to give here will run across all the if functions we have opened. So in this case, if the person has scored below 40, okay, then there should be an E. And I press the F4 key to hold it constant. Now when you are done, you close the number of brackets according to how many you have opened. So in this case, you have opened 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll close the bracket 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one trick is also you can use a last color. So the beginning color is yellow. You must close the bracket so you see yellow. When you are done, you press enter, and then you use the fill handler. So let me see. This is 60. Let me use 50 for better understanding. So when you are here, you realize that because of the absolute referencing, you can drag across it, and then everything is working instantly. Yeah. So should they increase? Let's say they've changed the grading system, so it's no more 80, which is A. So anything from 90 and above should give you an A. So we are now configuring our system. So if you get anything below 90, it will be an E. So 60 to 70 is now a B. And then if you get a 60, you have to be a C. And 50 to be a D. Yes, so the reason why we use a cell referencing is anything can happen. There might be updates. You don't need to use a hard coding. Use a cell. You only refer to that cell and do your changes. Yes, so that is it with the if function and then the nested if function. We can also use the if function with other function. Okay. In the subsequent videos, when we keep looking at other functions, you get to understand how that one works. But with this also, there's also one thing we can also do. You realize that let me add one section here and then use that to explain. So I've added the fifth student. So you realize that this side is empty, but it is giving you a grade E. so which is an incorrect, an invalid figure. So what we'll do is that we'll copy this, we'll cut this, and then I'm going to start with an if. So what I mostly do is you do if this cell here, okay, is equal to nothing, meaning if there is nothing in it, then Excel should return nothing. That is the value if true. So when I get to the value if false, then I'll keep typing all my the function. I'll keep typing all the function. So you type all the function, you close the bracket, and then you press enter. So you realize that there's nothing here, and then there's nothing here as well. So it looks here, if there is nothing, it will give you nothing. Yes. So I just copy that same thing and drag it across. So we have this. Yes. So if Copengo should score 30, 25, no, Copengo should score 100 to give you an A. Copengo should score 80, should be a B, and then should score 60. Sharon should score 62. A C. Lambert should score 20. An E. And then if Emilia should score 75, should be a B. So that is how we go about the if function. So we have learned the if function, the nested if, and we have created a system for grading. This is how it's been done throughout. So in our next video, we are going to look at some other functions as well. Thank you.